Welcome to the Modern Manifestation Podcast. I'm your host, Bree Brown, a business mindset coach, entrepreneur, and a top competitor in a male-dominated industry. I'm a native Texan, the youngest of all brothers, and a lettuce-hating, wine-loving, curses-like-a-sailor recovering perfectionist. I've spent over a decade building my commission-based career, and my life's purpose is helping other women achieve the same multi-six-figure success I achieved before I was 25. I have a passion for helping women with mindset, money, and manifestation skills to help every young woman realize her full potential. If you're looking for vulnerable conversations, professional development, inspiration, or even a kick in the ass to get you motivated, you have come to the right place. Thanks for checking out the Modern Manifestation Podcast. Now let's jump right in to today's topic. Hello, y'all. I hope that your day is just as beautiful as mine has been so far. We are on the tail end of spring here in Texas, and it is just my favorite time of year. It's beautiful. All the flowers are blooming, and it just has like this crisp breeze to it, but it's still beautiful and sunny, and I just love it. And I'm a little upset that in about 2 more months, it's going to be super hot. It's going to be, 90, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But I get to enjoy this now. I get to be present in it. And I love that we have this weather at this time of year because it really makes me, it makes me be more mindful of just like how beautiful it is and that I need to take advantage of it while it's here because it is going to get so hot for us in the summer months that I always regret, or not regret, I just always miss those beautiful, crisp spring days. So I'm reveling in that today. I literally just went and laid in my backyard staring up at the trees for a little bit just to relax, decompress. I've had a lot going on this week, and I really wanted to make sure that today I just rested, gave myself that space, recharged, get out in nature, and I'm feeling so good. And I even plan to go on a hike after this. So I'm just like, today is recharge day. I'm loving it. And I hope you are making space to do this for yourself as well sometime. If not today, tomorrow, the next day, throughout the rest of the week, make time for that. Rest is productive. Rest allows your brain to then get recharged and be more creative down the road. So can't stress that enough. But that is not what today's topic is about. Today's topic, actually, it's not even a topic. It's just what we're doing today. It's today's style, the format, if you will. So today we are doing an FAQ, frequently asked questions about manifestation. I haven't done one of these episodes yet, but I really just pulled together a lot of questions I seem to get asked more often than not in my direct messages, via email, on Facebook. And I was like, why don't I just answer some of these directly in a podcast that addresses like the most popular manifestation questions that I get anyway. As I give you this advice, just try it on, see what works, see what doesn't, see what you like, what you don't. I will never claim to be the person that has all the answers, but I hope this could help provide some clarity for you if that is what you're looking for. So I have 4 questions I'm going to dive into today, and I'm just going to get right into them. The first question that I get asked probably more often than anything else, especially as I talk to someone who's unfamiliar with the idea of manifestation, or maybe they've just seen The Secret or something and have this idea about what it is. The question I get asked is, do you have to be spiritual to manifest or to believe in manifestation? Absolutely not. I talk about manifestation probably more with people who are agnostic or atheist than any other type. Maybe it's because they are picking up on this identity part of what I talk about more so than the spiritual side. And I actually probably wouldn't say more with people who are agnostic or atheist, but definitely just as much as people who are spiritual. Like I'm having conversations probably equally with both sides. And that's why I try to bring a lot of the logic as well as the spirituality to the podcast, because I understand that people have different willingness to devour, a certain amount of spirituality. And some people are like, give me doses and doses and cups of that. And other people are like, I can do with like 1/8 of a teaspoon and that's about it. So I try to be mindful about balancing the two. But I think it's important to know that you do not have to be spiritual to manifest. And if you are spiritual in whatever way that is for you, whether that means you are a Christian, you are Wiccan, pagan, Jewish, Muslim, whatever that is for you, you can still manifest. These things, it's kind of like the idea of Buddhism, and it's more of like a philosophy. You can integrate it with your current belief system. And even if that means that you do not have a belief system, it can still integrate. If you can believe that your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors dictate and create your ability to achieve or succeed in something, then you believe in manifestation, because it's really what it is. It's just the daily habits that you're instilling. You manifest your identity, which includes your habits, ideas, thoughts, behaviors, emotional state, mental state, all of it. Everything that you're constantly doing. You're just constantly manifesting. And in a way, I kind of like to think of it sometimes as fake it till you make it on steroids, because you have to genuinely believe that you're already at the level you want to be, and that you're not just playing into the imposter syndrome. And that's why really doing a lot of this personal development work is super important. Because our identity includes all the baggage too, right? Like all the stuff that has culminated in who we are as people, which includes our past traumas, which includes our emotional state, our emotional immaturity that's left over, any beliefs we've adopted. It is all of that. So personal development is critical because it helps you work through a lot of that, because you can't really out vision board your identity. You're still manifesting your identity. It doesn't matter if you have a wish list written down or if you're trying to meditate every day. It's like those are great things to do, but you have to do that inner work. And it has nothing to do with spirituality. And it's all about, if you believe that as you start to instill these healthy habits, then that becomes a part of who you are and who you're manifesting. So I'm not the biggest fan of the phrase fake it till you make it, because that implies that you don't believe it or that you're not actually there. But with manifestation, you have to actually be there. Like you have to believe or have that confidence about yourself. And it's not saying that you have to pretend that you are a millionaire necessarily, right? It's just like you have to have the confidence, the habits, and maybe the charisma of someone that is that millionaire. So taking that example further, when it comes to, and again, I hate the expression fake it till you make it, but, letting go of that imposter syndrome, if you are that person that wholeheartedly believes that you're on your way to be that millionaire, or that you are that millionaire, and you step into the shoes and the confidence of that person, you're going to carry yourself differently. So if you're asked to go on stage and give a talk about it, you're going to carry yourself much differently. It's like you've already conditioned your life for this. You get up on the stage, you're taking up space, you're not hunching, your head is tall, your voice is projecting. You believe yourself to be an expert in that, being a millionaire or whatever they're asking you to speak about. You're going to come across very, very differently. And it completely goes back to what identity you hold. Do you consider yourself a successful person that belongs up there? Or if you have not adopted that identity, you might go up onto the stage and feel like a fraud. That imposter syndrome sets in. Who am I, and how dare I go up onto that stage to talk to these people? I'm nothing. I'm nobody. And what happens when you start to have those kinds of thoughts is that then you're stepping on to that stage and you might be hunched forward a little bit. You might be shuffling your feet a little bit. You might be nervous, and so your hands are going everywhere, or you're talking really fast. Very different manifestations of two different identities. And so that's what we're talking about. It's letting go of that imposter syndrome. It's stepping into the identity of someone that is then able to manifest the things they want by nature of who they are then becoming. So you don't have to be spiritual. Because if that example I just gave you, those two are very energetically different people going up onto that stage. It could be in the same physical body, but it's just two very different interpretations. And they could have the exact same accolades, and yet one chooses to look at themselves as a success, and the other one might choose to look at themselves as a failure. It's whatever identity they've adopted. So if that resonates with you, and if you get that, then you're already on the path of understanding manifestation. And if you believe that, then you can get behind this idea, spirituality or not, because it's all about your mindset. And your mindset, which dictates your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, habits, everything. And all of that, just logically, that's going to put you on the right track. It's going to put more opportunities in your way. And that's what you're manifesting more of, opportunity. The second question I get asked a lot is, why isn't this manifestation thing working for me? Or why am I not able to manifest the things that I want? And I probably noticed this, or I get this question more, I would say, from my skeptics. And I am saying this as an ex-skeptic. And actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say I'm an ex-skeptic because I'm still skeptical about a lot. Something I'm working on. But manifestation is just not one of those things that I'm still skeptical about anymore because it's proven itself to me time and time again. But I realize that hasn't yet happened for some people. So when you're first introduced to this world, there can be a lot to feel skeptical about, admittedly. I mean, especially if you've only watched The Secret or you just watched it and you're like, that was a little bit too magical and unicorns for me. Like, I get it. I was there. However, when you are trying to manifest and you're coming from that place of skepticism, that energy is behind everything you're trying to manifest. It's behind all of the asks that you're making. So in a way, it's like you want the universe to prove itself to you, but you're not really giving it a chance. Like it feels that energy behind it that you don't fully expect it to work. So you may make an ask, but then secretly you're thinking, I can't wait to say that I told you so and just prove to everyone that this doesn't work. Or maybe you had a friend that roped you into it and you're just like, I can't wait to tell them that this thing is just totally bullshit and like they're not going to pull the wool over my eyes or whatever that expression is. But you have to remember, you manifest the energy and the intention, not necessarily the words. So if you're wondering why your shit isn't manifesting, have a heart-to-heart with yourself. Are you expecting it to fail? Are you setting it up for failure even? And are you trying to prove someone wrong? And then I think the really hard question that comes up too for a lot of people is like, what does it mean if this does work? And that means that shit that I've experienced in the past could have gone better. Like that can be a really hard thing to sit with. And we can talk about that in a different episode because I think that's a heavier subject to get into. But these can be hard questions to ask yourself. But I'd really focus on this if you believe it's not working and it's something you're wanting to work toward. If you just want to prove it wrong, okay, then just keep going down the path and just give it up altogether and continue doing what you're doing, maintain status quo. But if you're really wanting to give it an opportunity, ask yourself if you are expecting it to fail. And maybe not even the concept of manifestation, like maybe you believe it works for other people, but you're like, oh, it doesn't work for me. That is a sign that you have some work to do there. Why can't it work for you? What do you believe about yourself that says that other people can experience the success and rewards of manifestation and you cannot? That is a pretty good telltale sign. So ask yourself, am I just trying to prove this wrong? Or if I really actually want this to work, do I believe it won't work for me? And if so, why? Get into that why, because I think that's going to be critical for helping you figure out why you might be stuck. And that really gets into that shadow work that I think is really important in the professional development world. And if you need to, just start with a small exercise and go from there. Maybe you can ask the universe something silly like, I don't know, show me purple unicorns this week or orange dolphins or I don't know, something that you don't normally see a lot of. And just say, hey, universe, I'm struggling. I really want to believe, but I need to see some sort of proof. Just ask for it. It's okay to do that. You don't have to feel necessarily like it's a test. You can just say, I'm wanting to be open about this, but I'm just needing a little bit of some proof here in order to get my whole heart behind it. Just come from a place of love and positivity, and you'll be surprised what's shown up. I have had pink elephants show up for me when I was in that place, and then also pink flamingos, which I guess flamingos are always pink, but that was something I asked for, and I got a lot of it. So that's just my tidbit on if you're not able to manifest and you're wondering why it's not working for you, ask yourself those questions and then maybe try to go through one of those easy exercises. Okay, the third question I get asked a lot is, how do you let go of the how without letting go of intention? Or another way people ask this is also, how do you let go of something while asking for what you want? Because it can feel like a paradox. And this is a great question that comes up a lot because it feels counterintuitive. Asking for what you want is 1000% okay and helpful. Getting clarity on what you want and speaking that to the universe is amazing. And you will never, never, never be punished for that. But the difference is asking for what you want and stating the ask without becoming desperate. I'm going to say that again. Asking for what you want, but without becoming desperate. Because that starts to get into the how, right? Because your desperation has an implied, why hasn't this happened yet sort of response, or can you hurry up, please, universe? Like, you start getting into that desperation mode because it's not here. And you're wondering why it's not here and why it hasn't happened according to your timeline. And that really starts to get into that scarcity mindset. And as I said in past episodes, the universe does not like to be micromanaged. So ask for what you want. Want the what as much as you damn well please. But for the love of God, after you ask, let it go. Let it the fuck go. If it is meant for you, it will happen when it is meant to happen. And I read a quote the other day that I absolutely loved. It said, the universe never says no. It either says yes, not right now, but later, or I have something better in mind. It never says no. It says yes, not right now, or I have something better. I loved that when I read it. It is so, so true. When you start to look at it from that perspective, everything is happening for you. That's when you can really start to believe that this life is playing out in the way that it needs to, in your best interest. And when you really start to believe that, then know that if it is right for you, it will come. And that's another point I really want to dive into a little bit further, because sometimes we ask for things that contradict what another ask may have been, or we ask for something that's not truly aligned with what it is that we're trying to manifest, big picture wise, like what I want my life to look at. So as an example, maybe you visualized being happy and in a loving relationship 5 years ago, and that's something you really wanted and you asked for. And then a couple years later, you get into an abusive relationship, and all of a sudden you're trying to manifest ways to fix that person or to fix that relationship. And you can't, because that relationship probably won't lead you to the happiness and the love that you initially asked for. And what you initially asked for was closer to that authentic version of you, because you said, I just want to be loved and in a happy relationship. And then this abusive person comes along and you're like, well, maybe I can fix them. Like, that already feels extremely different, right? Because it's like, I have this toxic negative thing. Let me try to fix this, versus I just want love and abundance and peace in my life. The universe knows that that first ask is really what you actually wanted. And unfortunately, when you are in that relationship, you're kind of sitting in that and you can't really see that well from your perspective, how that person might not be serving you. But the universe already knows what your heart actually wanted and what it desired. So it's like, no, girl, I'm not going to help you manifest staying in this relationship because it's ultimately not aligned with the life that you actually want to create for yourself. So don't beat yourself up when the universe doesn't give you that other manifestation or some sort of manifestation, because it might have something better in mind. It knows better, and it knows that the first ask in that particular situation was more true to you, more in alignment with your highest good. So it won't help fix a relationship that it knows is not in your best interest. And I know this because this is actually my own example. I was that person that was trying to fix that relationship that had no business being fixed. So want the what and ask for it and be intentional, but work on letting it go. Let go of the how and do not chase it desperately. Let go of the how and the when and anything related to where, when, what, how, all of those things. Let it all go. Know what you want and have that clarity in your soul, and that's all you need to do. And especially let go of the when, because I've had manifestations that have taken a decade to manifest. You just never know when you're going to be ready for it, but it happens when it is supposed to, or other things need to happen in order for you to fully accept and be appreciative of it, or for you to just be physically, mentally, emotionally ready for whatever that is that you're asking for. Sometimes you're just not there yet, and that's okay. That just means there's room for improvement and growth, and there will always be room for improvement and growth. But these manifestations show up when we're aligned for it and when we are in that place in our lives where we are best able to receive it. So let go and find comfort in knowing that if it is meant, it will happen in the timing it is meant to happen in. And the last question I'm going to answer today is, can you manifest getting sick? Okay, y'all. Don't take manifestation too literally for everything. I know I say you manifest everything, and you do to an extent, but there are a lot of correlations out there. Yes, you manifest your life, and your mental health plays a huge role in how healthy your immune system is and how it operates, which, determines how easily you can get sick. However, there are so many other factors that play into this. It's a very complex system. Our bodies are extremely complex. So a couple examples of all the different things that could be going on is maybe your immune system is suppressed the week before your period starts, because a female's body is actually trying to conserve energy for menstruation, and so your immune system suffers as a result. It could also be environmental conditions that can cause stress in your immune system, or even drinking alcohol can stress the immune system. Things you eat, allergies, chemical toxicity. There are so many things that contribute to your immune system, and it can become overloaded, and that can cause you to get sick. So in a way, yes, manifestation can play a part through various mindset things like stress and anxiety, but I would say that that is a correlation and not a cause. The difference is your one bad day or that one bad thought is not going to directly cause you to get a cold or a flu or a UTI or whatever else. Sometimes a cold is just a cold. And I've seen so many people that were like, oh no, I got the flu. How did I manifest this? And it's like, sure, there could be a correlation there to your mindset and your immune system as a result of your cortisol levels and everything else, your parasympathetic system, like we've talked about in the past, but I really don't think that's a direct manifestation. That being said, I do think that long-term unhappiness and stress and negativity and anxiety can manifest physically as either a disease or chronic pain. I know we've talked about some of these things before, but I do not believe that it can directly manifest the common cold. So that's kind of the difference. It's like long-term exposure as a result of stress and all of those things that your mindset is cultivating, and that is therefore manifesting for you. Sure, I think that could manifest into some sort of physical symptoms, but I don't think that that's going to manifest in the common cold or a toothache or whatever. I'm sure some people believe that it does, and that's totally cool. That's your prerogative. I just don't believe that minor symptoms are the result of something you have manifested. Sometimes our bodies just go through these things, and it's not always within our control. So don't use manifestation as a way to punish yourself when shit doesn't go right, or you wake up with a toothache or cold or flu or whatever. Like, don't just immediately think, what did I do to manifest this? Like, sometimes shit just happens. It's not always tied to something you've manifested. You know, if you don't have the common cold because you had a bad thought last Tuesday or because you got pissed off at traffic. Like, sometimes it just is. I hope y'all enjoyed this little FAQ episode. If you have more questions that you would like answered, send me a direct message on Instagram at Modern Manifestation. Would love to do a part 2 to this. You know, maybe we do it once every quarter or once every year. I don't know. We'll figure it out. If you guys start sending me questions, I will make sure to compile them. And at some point we can do a part 2 to this where I start answering other people's questions. Or if you're just like, hey, I could use some more clarity on this, or I would love a deeper dive on this one answer you gave, also let me know that. I'm happy to take any one of these apart and do a longer explanation on it where we really get into some of the details. If you enjoyed this episode and if you have enjoyed past episodes, it would mean a lot to me if you would head over to whatever podcast platform you listen on and leave me a review. You would be doing me a huge favor, and you would also be helping other people find my podcast, so that way they are also getting helped. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with me today, and I will catch y'all next Monday. Until then, go out there and manifest some miracles. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this podcast, hit subscribe so you can stay up to date with new episodes. As always, we would love it if you would share this episode with friends and family who could use the inspiration. As a new podcast show, we would really appreciate your honest feedback so I know what you like and what you could use more of. As a thank you for leaving us a rating, we will send you our 7 weekly tips to create space for abundance. Make sure you screenshot your review and email it to us at hello@modernmanifestation.com so we can send them straight to your inbox. If you'd like to stay connected, you can find us on Instagram or Facebook at Modern Manifestation, or you can head to our website at themodernmanifestation.com. Thanks again for joining me, and I will catch y'all in the next episode.